Hi, welcome to Family Access Network's Tea with an Advocate. This video series is bringing fan school tours to you. If you are hanging out at home, doing online school, or at work, in the next few minutes you can sit back and learn about FAN and our amazing advocates. Family Access Network has 26 advocates in 62 school sites in Deschutes, Crook, and Jefferson counties. These advocates connect students to crucial resources so they can thrive in school and in life. Advocates are at the heart of our organization and they play an important role in our community. So join us as we do Tea with an Advocate. Today's featured guest advocate is Alex Adame. Welcome, Alex.
Hi there.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. It's a beautiful day whenever we're recording this, but this is a beautiful day.
Exactly. Well, thanks for joining me for Tea with an Advocate. Before we start, what kind of tea do you have right now?
Yes, I got a good old peppermint tea with my shout out to Sister's Coffee. They're the best. It's not coffee, but it's tea in a year. So,
Yep.
What about yourself?
I actually have peppermint as well.
Hey.
I was drinking chai earlier, but need to reduce the caffeine at some point in the day.
Sweet.
Well, so Tea with an Advocate is primarily intended to learn more about our advocates and the important work that you do. So let's jump right in. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do up in Madras?
Yeah, sweet. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor and privilege to just be able to share my story and the work that I get to do, and which is really cool. Once again, my name is Alex. I am married to my beautiful wife of 7 months. Shout out to her; she's the best. And we are actually about to get a new, brand new Australian Labradoodle puppy in the next few months. So we're super excited about that and can't wait for that to happen. My wife and I actually just moved to Redmond. My wife works in Bend as a pediatric registered nurse for COPA, and I work in Madras. So it was a good middle ground for the both of us. I actually grew up in Madras, Oregon. Went to part of elementary and then all of middle school and all of high school. I actually graduated from Madras High School in 2013. Throughout my high school career, I was really involved in multiple different opportunities within my community, everything from like my local church. But I even remember my senior year, I wanted to be part of the associated student body through Madras High School. And the only way was to be the student representative at school board meetings. So I attended all the school board meetings throughout my senior year, and I actually ended up enjoying it. I also volunteered with a program called the Jefferson County Peer Court, and I ended up doing that for about 6.5 years. And unfortunately, it's no longer a program, but that program alone, volunteering an endless amount of hours, have really kickstarted my desire for what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I love Madras. I love the diversity. I love the potential that Madras has, Jefferson County in a whole. And it's really a privilege to be able to not just grow up in Madras, but actually now I get to work in Madras and really partner with an amazing nonprofit and make a difference.
That's awesome. It's kind of interesting how you kind of circle back to your roots at some point in your adult life, and you're kind of a good, true story to that testament. Kind of
Yeah.
diving more into the work that you do with FAN, what can you kind of describe your role? And there are 26 FAN advocates in Central Oregon. You are the only one up in Madras. So share a little bit around that.
Yeah, so I got hired a year ago with FAN, specifically through the Jefferson County 509J School District. FAN in a whole is pretty unique nonprofit organization because it works directly with school districts to hire individuals for these positions. And on the flip of the coin, you also get the benefits of having a whole team, so the nonprofit side, to help you do your job successfully. And so, like how you said, I'm actually the first FAN advocate to be hired in Jefferson County, and I get to serve Madras High School, Jefferson County Middle School, and Bridges High School. Um, how I kind of got here, after I graduated from Madras High School in 2013, I went to college in Portland. And after being in Portland for college, I decided to actually come back to Central Oregon. And through kind of beginning my career in the nonprofit world, I actually ended up working for Big Brothers and Big Sisters for 3 years. An amazing opportunity, just diving into the importance of mentoring. Such a great nonprofit. And then a year ago, I got offered to be the first fan advocate in Jefferson County for the Family Access Network. A unique role, building connections, starting projects, helping more families in Central Oregon. And I mean, FAN is just amazing in a whole. I would define, FAN as a bridge to getting individuals to hope. We connect families to basic needs such as access to food, clothing, school supplies, and much more. But a lot of our families are regular families who need help getting over a hump. Since I was a senior in high school, I always knew I wanted to help people. And it's really truly what I get to do with FAN. One of the most common questions I always get is, why did you decide to come back to Central Oregon after college? Like Madras is, 8,000 people. Like, why would you want to come back? But there were so many people who gave me an opportunity to learn more about myself, who called gifts out of me that I didn't even know I had. And it's because of those people. And I came back because I want to do the same thing. I want to invest into our high school students, or into our middle school students, give them an opportunity to just say, hey, you know what? You may be in a hump, but it doesn't have to be forever. And especially with our families and just our diversity within our community. I believe and love this community.
Oh, that's really touching. You could tell that you're very passionate about what you do. And it does sound like a pretty big role that you have at the high schools and the middle school. Is there a family story or a situation that kind of has touched you and kind of made an impact and kind of resonates with the work that you do that maybe you could share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there are countless amount of stories of families that through FAN and through community partners we are able to help. But one specific story that has resonated to me a lot, and I go back to it just because it has helped me even throughout just this first year and through just all the different things that we get to do as a fan advocate. So when I first got hired, this story kind of began a few months later. Again, context of it, there's a pandemic going on. We're still in a pandemic. And there was a lot of unknown in just the general point of what the pandemic was going on. But a single mother of three came to me in dire need of help. First of all, she's a single mother with three kids. So three kids are trying to do distance learning at home. She's trying to work, a full-time job during the pandemic, but reduced hours because of the pandemic, and bills are starting to pile up. She has a high school student, a middle school student, and an elementary student. So you could just imagine, just the complex of just all of that. You having three different students in three different grades, three different schools, trying to navigate that as a single mom was just really hard for her. So it was just a really, really hard season. And so after we had, our conversation, we dove into the needs that she was looking to be met. She asked if we could help, with school material for her children. Potentially maybe we could help with bills just because they were stacking up. And then one of the other things was just some extra food, just because of just the reduced hours and etc. So I offered her help with multiple different things. Thanks to our donors and our grants that we do get, we were able to help, by paying off part of her power bill, as well as helping her with her rent through our, eviction prevention program that we have with FAN. We were able to give her, gift card to a local grocery outlet store in Madras. And as well as through the Fan Foundation, we had, and we still do at right now, but we have earbuds. And at the time, I mean, it was something so tiny as an earbud, but it was so big because, they have such a small, apartment, and three of them trying to do school at the same time. Earbuds was like, it was just awesome, and so it was awesome because she was literally, you know, as I was having a conversation with her over the phone, I could just feel how grateful, she was that she was getting a little bit of hope with just the different various things that we were able to give her. So we were able to give her multiple different things through Fan to immediately help her with certain things, but then as well as we were able to connect her with community partners that we have in our community that she could be able to follow up and potentially even get more help than just what we were able to give. Our stories normally end right there. Like we help them, and some of our families we do long term. We are weekly talking to them and things like that. But with that family, with her, it ended. And but for my surprise, I get a phone call a couple weeks ago from this same mom, and she says, "Hey, Alex, how's it going?" And I'm like, "Oh, how's it going with you?" And so she just starts telling me that she was able to get out of this hump thanks to the help of with Fan and the community connections that we were able to help her with. And she's like, "Hey, Alex, I have this envelope for you. Can I stop by and drop it off?" And I was like, "Okay, yeah, sounds good. Just pull up, and I'll come outside, and social distancing and all that stuff." And so she came over to Madras High School, and so she parked, and she hands me this envelope. And so I open this envelope, and I don't know what it is. I'm like, what could be in here? And so I open the envelope, and to my surprise, she just starts telling me how grateful and thankful she was for Fan. And she said, "Hey, I put a $50 gift card in there so then I could be able to pay it forward and to be able to help another family." And for me, I was like, did not expect that. We don't expect that from our families to, give us back money because we gave them or give things like that. But out of her own heart, she was able to just have this, a call for just generosity and to be able to just give back. And so the cool part is that I actually ended up giving that gift card that she gave me last week to another family that we were able to help. And so anyway, so that's the story, an amazing story, amazing mother, of three that just, needed help, and we were able to help through the Fan Foundation, through Fan, and through our community partners.
Wow. Alex, that was very touching. You even made my eyes water for a little bit there. I'm sure you have many, many stories like that, and we'll come across more stories as well. Something I want to touch on is you, throughout that sharing, you mentioned community partners a handful of times. Can you kind of dive into that a little bit and talk about that network of partnerships and how that is so important to the success of FAN?
Yeah, I'm in this position, and many of our other fan advocates, as well would say this, that it's thanks to our donors and our community partners that help our families in our school districts, to be able to do what we get to do. If that is a referral or if that is in immediate, money coming in, so then we could be able to buy grocery outlet gift cards or et cetera. But people like, Windermere Real Estate, Amy and Evan Brown, they called me a few weeks ago and said, "Hey, I have a check for you." And through that check and through that money, we were able to invest it into our eviction prevention program through the Fan Foundation, where we are able to, help with a little bit, for rent money to our various different families. Rotary in Jefferson County has given to us as well. I mean, Possibilities Thrift Store is amazing in Madras. Like they gave me, vouchers that I could be able to give to my families, so then they can go to the thrift store and get at least maybe a used jacket or maybe used tennis shoes or etc. Just because COVID right now has not allowed us to take in donations, just because of the severity of how COVID works. So thanks to Possibilities Thrift Store, I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, Oregon Community Foundation, they've donated to us specifically, with food equity and trying to, okay, how do we get access to food to our families who need it the most? Oregon Family, Support Network as well. St. Charles and Madras. I mean, they're amazing. They're some of the biggest partners that we get to have and invest money to specifically to Jefferson County that would be able to help pioneer projects that we are starting, like the weekend food program. I mean, there's so many more. I mean, it's because of our community that we are able to do what we get to do. Our community continues to show up, and we are grateful for that. And taking the step, further, we have great administration team, even within FAN. Like Julie, our executive director. I mean, is the best in the game. She, not just because of her experience, but because of how much she cares for everyone. I mean, even our, my specific principals, Brian Crook at Madras High School, Simon White at Jefferson County Middle School, like they, yes, want students, to get back into the schools safely, but as well as meet their other needs and to be able to partner with them and with us. I mean, it is truly amazing.
It sounds like just everyone's a part of a puzzle that each has a role, and when you put them together, great things can happen for sure. Before we
Yeah.
wrap up, do you have any last thoughts you want to share with us about what you do, or anything you want to share to our viewers?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for making it to this point of the video, but I do have a quick thought. I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and Tim Tebow was being interviewed, and throughout his interview, he said something that captivated my heart because it really defines just the season that I'm in right now and the work that I get to do with fans. And I'll read it to you guys. And it says this. He says this in his quote. It says, "Success comes in a lot of ways, but it doesn't come with money and it doesn't come with fame. It comes from having a meaning in your life, doing what you love, and being passionate about what you do. That's having a life of success. When you have the ability to do what you love what you do, and have the ability to impact people, that's having a life of success. That's what having a life of meaning is." So I just love it because I love what I get to do. I am privileged to serve families that I get to serve. It's not, at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about just the multiple different people that are contributing to families, contributing to children's lives, contributing to education, contributing. And so I just get to be a little part, in the big picture, like the big puzzle, piece, like how you just said. And, if there is, anybody out there in, specifically in Jefferson County that even wants to, donate or wants to give to specifically to the work that we are doing, please reach out, to us. I mean, we just would love to partner with you, and as well as, have you invest into our families in Jefferson County. I'll end with this. My shout out to my Jefferson County Middle School principal, Simon White. And we were emailing back and forth, and I told him about, donation that somebody donated to us. And he ended, the conversation with, saying this, and I'll steal it from him. So thank you for having me, Jen. And I hope, everybody out there has a fantastic day.
Thank you, Alex, for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us about what you do for our community, and especially those kids in Madras. For those of you that joined us today for Tea with an Advocate, thank you. We appreciate you watching and learning more about FAN. If you want to dive in a little bit more and learn about what we do have a website. It's familyaccessnetwork.org, and we do have an Instagram and Facebook page. That handle is at Family Access Network. So thank you for joining us, and until next time, enjoy your day.